Yo guys, what's going on? So before we get into the video real quick, I just want to say shout out to Digimon Card Dev. Shout out to Digimon Card Dev. This is an awesome website, and this is the main website I used for building decks and looking up cards that have just came out. It's updated very frequently. A lot of you guys have been asking me, yo, how do you play the game online? How are you getting these cards? Where do you get your updates? And this is the main site I use. You can see it has all the booster packs here, as well as the starter decks and the starter decks that haven't even come out yet. And there's also things like the card list. So if I click on Union Impact here, it'll give you all the cards that have been revealed, which at this point is the whole set. As well as the search function here where you can search, whatever you want. If I want to find black Digimon like I build for this specific deck profile, I can look at all the black Digimon here. And then they also have a deck builder function where you can add your own cards, and that's how I actually import them into Tabletop Simulator. So yeah, I just want to say shout out because without Digimon Card Dev, none of us would be playing the TCG online. And if you are liking this video, guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more Digimon content. Yo, what is going on, guys? Got another deck profile for you guys today. This is my Craniamon black build that I've been working on. This deck is a ton of fun, and I honestly think it is a very viable strategy in terms of like actual competitive gameplay, because purple is one of the best decks right now just because they have so much removal, and then there's always problematic cards like Omnimon, like Terraforce, just cards like those that Craniamon completely shuts down. He is, to my knowledge, the only card in the game so far that not only protects himself, but also protects other Digimon like him. So all your Digimon with blockers. Hence why I'm playing him in a black build where you're playing a multiple blockers. Like, you're playing a ton of blockers. And your whole strategy is just to get Craniamon out and pair him with, some of your other powerful blockers here, and just prevent your opponent from ever really touching your security stack and being able to just win the game, because Craniamon is just very hard to kill. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So for starters, for the rookies, you got 4 Toy Agumon. He is one of the best because he gives your Digimon on top of him Reboot. Reboot is an ability that allows a Digimon who is rested with that Reboot ability to become active during your opponent's active phase. So the whole strategy with Reboot is being able to get multiple blocks in, or just being able to avoid your opponent from actually attacking your Digimon. So, if you have something like Reboot on Craniamon, he's very hard to kill because, you can attack during your turn, and he'll be rested during your opponent's active phase. He'll become active, and then he'll be ready to block on their turn. So it's just very good with a lot of the black support with your blockers. Okay, so then moving on, we got for Gatsuman, who is your rookie blocker of the deck. I always think this is a good addition. He's just a solid rookie, 3 cost to play, 0 to Digivolve. You're not really going to be attacking with him, so that -2 doesn't really hinder you that much. But yeah, overall, just solid card. Gotta include him in black builds. Hagurumon, it doesn't really do anything, but he is a cheap 2 cost. You could definitely swap out either Hagurumon, or I'm also playing 2 Commandramon, who's one of the new rookies. He's basically the same thing. He's a black 2 cost to play. You just need more rookies, and I like playing 14 to make it consistent, but definitely Toy Agumon and Gatsuman are your go-tos. They are the best ones. Okay, now moving on to the champions, we got Tankmon, who is superior to Numamon. I was playing Numamon at 4 originally. I'm only playing him at 2 now. They do the same thing. Numamon is good because he's a 3 cost to play, but I mainly like it for the 1 cost to Digivolve that they share, but Tankmon is just significantly stronger. You could definitely mess around with those and shift up the ratios. You could also play Gardramon, who is another blocker that I wasn't playing in this build. I felt like I had enough blockers, especially because I didn't want too many. Like, sometimes if you get just too many blockers on field, you can't really attack because, you already have things like Kurisarimon and Gatsumon who lose 2 memory for attacking. So Gardramon is another one that has like that same issue. So Craniamon is another just solid champion. 4 to play for a champion, which is fantastic, especially because he is a blocker, so playing 4 of that. Already talked about this guy right here. And then for the ultimates, we got 4 Andromon. Solid overall card. And just not much to say. They're just your, go-to ultimate blocker. Metal Greymon is another one that's very interesting. This is from the newer starter deck, the Black Tai starter deck that's coming out in Japan soon. And he has an effect when Digivolved, you get to give any of your Digimon blockers until the end of your opponent's next turn. So basically, for your opponent's next turn, you could use his effect on himself, give him blockers, so he's basically, you're playing 6 copies of Andromon, or you could give it to, maybe a Tankmon, or if you want to, set up one of your rookies, or even one of your Megas down here who don't actually have blocker, you could definitely do that as well. And for some reason, if you had a Millennium Mon on field, you could do that as well. And other Metal Greymon, one, he has reboot, so he's solid. And then 2, he has the inheritable effect where if your Digimon on top of him has reboot, which, a lot of times you'll have Toy Agumon, they get security attack +1. So not only do you get that ability to restand during your opponent's active phase, but you also get to check 2 security cards. So overall, just solid. You could play more of him, but I just want to make room for this new Metal Greymon here. And then for the Megas, I'm playing 2 Crescarurumon and 1 Blitz Greymon. These cards are both good in their own right. I think Crescarurumon is a little bit better to me in this deck because when he's Digivolved, you get to reveal a card for every Digimon your opponent has and then play a black or red level 5 amongst them. And you're only playing blacks here, but you will always resolve this effect. And the reason why it's so good is because, everything here and above is a black level 5. So, you could play something like Andromon, Chrysalimon, and just get free beefy blockers on field just for Digivolving this guy. So that's why I like him. That's why he's really good. And then Blitz Greymon is good. His D-Digivolve effect, it kind of goes hand in hand with the whole black strategy. We've seen things like Machine Dramon and Infinity Cannon, things like that. But yeah, so just 2 and 1. I was just testing these out. You could definitely play other black Megas if you wanted to. If you wanted to focus on like a more Ragnarlord Mon centered build, you could probably switch these out for Bryludramon, or any of the Legend Arms guys. But the heart and soul of the deck, the main focus of this deck is getting Craniamon onto the field. This guy is just legitimately, he's like almost broken. You'll see in the gameplay video that it was so easy for me to win against a purple deck because once you get him on field, there's essentially nothing that deck can do, right? The only thing they could do is like summon a Millenniumon. They probably won't be able to attack him because he'll have reboot a lot of the times. But the Millenniumon has that shuffle or send to the bottom of the deck effect. But aside from DP reduction and Millenniumon, like the Omnimon can't kill this card. Terraforce can't kill this card. Vengeance can't kill this card. No purple removal can kill this card. It's just so good, and not only the fact that it applies on him, but it extends to all of your blockers. So it just makes your wall even more insurmountable, and really allows you to play a very defensive strategy against your opponent. So I think Craniamon is an absolutely fantastic card. I think this will be a staple in like most black builds from here on out. But yeah, Craniamon, just amazing. And then 2 Millenniumon, just because you're focused on getting and maintaining Craniamon, so I didn't want to play too many of him. But it is nice just to have it, if you resolve Crescarumon's effect, or maybe if you have double Craniamon and you just, want that extra removal, Millenniumon's always an option. And then as far as the level 2s or the Digi-Eggs, we just got 1 Kakinmon. He's kind of the newer guy. If this Digimon's level 7, get +1 memory, which won't really happen that often. But it's an alright effect. I'm mainly playing Kapurimon just to go hand in hand with Toy Agumon, and you'll a lot of times get that 1000 boost. So yeah, those are the Digi-Eggs. And then as far as the tamers and the option cards go, playing 3Jo, almost all of your Digimon are blockers, so this is not very a difficult card to resolve. And if you have multiple of him, it does stack, so it's really nice getting that +1 every time you start your turn. Now, you could definitely play more of this Taichi. This card is like insane actually. During your opponent's turn, if you rest your opponent by using the blocker effect, right? If you block with something like Craniamon or Andromon, by resting this card, you can make that Digimon active. So essentially, you can get multiple blocks out of one Digimon, which is kind of crazy, especially if they already have reboot. So I was just testing this card out, but I didn't realize how insane it was. I honestly want to play like 3 or 4 of this, because it's just like you can use them multiple times on the same Digimon if you want, and then it just becomes insanely good, especially if you have reboot. So yeah, this card is just insane, gets multiple blocks out of a single blocker, and if you have Tai and Craniamon with reboot, it's essentially very, very difficult to kill him. Now, speaking of being able to kill Craniamon, Power of Breath, I would also probably switch this to 4. Maybe cut Giga Cannon, but this is just like one of the only removal cards we have. You know, I'm not playing too much removal. It's basically just Millenniumon and Giga Cannon. So yeah, you might still want to play this, but Power of Breath. First of all, the main effect, where I was talking about, like, the only thing you could do to Craniamon is reduce its DP or send it back to the deck. But this card gets around that. So if you play this card with your Craniamon, it is not dying. Like, there's nothing your opponent can do to get rid of Craniamon with this card in play. Not only does it have that insane effect for a 2 cost, its security effect also prevents your opponent from attacking your security stack or you for the rest of the turn. So if your opponent's about to go for game and they run into this card, they're just done for the turn. Like, they literally cannot do anything. It doesn't matter if that Digimon wasn't played that turn or whatever. Power of Breath is just an insane card. So I would definitely probably play more of both this Black Tie and Power of Breath, but mainly making space was the difficult option for me here. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about all this new black support, about this Craniamon strategy, and about any improvements I can make, or maybe card choices that you don't agree with. But yeah, and if you do enjoy these types of videos, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like this video to let me know that you guys are enjoying it. And as always, thank you for watching, and look forward to more Digimon content.